Hi everyone again. It's Justin, the Christian Fun Learning Center for YouTube and Scripture Order for TikTok. Today's topic we'll be going over coffee. Is it a sin to drink coffee? Um, Coffee contains caffeine, which is a psychoactive drug, and it's found in many different foods. Not only in coffee, but chocolate, tea, energy drinks, and bars, soda, kombucha, and granola bars, among other things. Also considered chocolate-covered snacks, even cereal. Trail mix, hot cocoa, chocolate milk, root beer, and orange soda. So caffeine is not just in coffee; it's in all those other things too. It's said it'd be safe to use when using in moderation with healthy folk. Coffee slash caffeine can deplete specific trace minerals or specific minerals. It can deplete specific minerals, including calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium, and iron, as well as trace minerals, due to its direct effect and compounds such as tannins. However, However, these losses are considered minor with, with regular or even high consumption. For those who drink moderately and have a good diet, it shouldn't affect you much. Warning: coffee may cause a lack of absorption of non-heme iron as much as 60-90% when taken with food. This can be mitigated through waiting an hour. Should be noted that Seventh-day Adventists and Mormons they teach they forbid the consumption of coffee. As well, there's some cautionary things about concerning whether or not to take into consideration when thinking about whether or not you should abstain from drinking coffee. It is associated with sorcery and it's considered a potion for energy. Sufi mystics use it to stay alert for their rituals, and it's considered Satan's drink by clergy till it was approved by the Pope centuries ago. Witches use coffee grounds for divination. Pagans and witches also use it for speed and motivation. Now, just because a pagan does something doesn't necessarily mean, you know, if pagan uses toilet paper, I mean we can't use toilet paper. So obviously that's not the best argument. If you gotta consider things like that. Now, considering their worship practices, definitely avoid any kind of worship practices, things that they do to serve their gods, their specific customs. Definitely avoid those. But things like food, concerning food, God made all food. So, but right now we're still in the why to avoid it. Coffee blocks receptors in the brain, which limits drowsiness. Galatians 5 and Revelation 18 use the Greek word pharmakia and is defined as drugs, poison, and sorcery. I believe it's in the Strong's Greek dictionary, or is it dictionary? Anyway, so because it's labeled caffeine is labeled under a psychoactive drug, that's where you should give a moment of pause and prayerful consideration, because pharmakia is the definition of pharmakia is drugs, so you gotta watch out for that. Paul says those which do such things concerning witchcraft shall not inherit the kingdom of God. In Galatians 5. I ain't quoting exactly, but then we got to consider. Let's see here. Addiction is sinful. 1 Corinthians 6:12. Paul's talking about not being brought under the power of any. And then you got, I think he says something like, all things are lawful for me, but not all things. Well, how does that go? All things are lawful, but all things edify not. All things are lawful for me, but I not be brought under the power of any. Something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's two different verses somewhere else, and there's a verse in another. There's a similar verse elsewhere in the New Testament. I know according exactly. Also, we'll try to wrap this up real fast. Concerning liberty, you can look up Romans 14:20. Romans 14:20. Although that's granted, it's talking about meats, talking about meats. You got to consider Deuteronomy 14:26, Colossians 2:16, and as well as verses 20 and 22. Matthew 15:9, Psalm 104:14, Psalm 104:14-15. So those verses may be used. You could look them up and see they might actually give you liberty to drink coffee, but I'm not going to say 100% one way or the other. You go ahead and read them for yourself and take to the Lord in prayer concerning that. Alcohol is a drug that can be addicting also. Alcohol is a drug that can be addicting also. It is a central nervous system depressant. However, the Bible is crystal clear that it can be used in moderation. My conclusion for this video is Romans 14:22 through 23. I ain't gonna quote it exactly, but it sums up: if your conscience is, if you don't believe, if you believe it might be sinful, don't partake of it. If you have doubt, if he that doubts is damned if he eat. That which not of faith is sin. May or may not be quoting that exactly. Thank you for watching my channel, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.